Hey everybody, it's February. It was a wild ride to get through the last couple weeks of January with all the weather that we had throughout the country. Over 30% of our drivers were impacted by some mandatory weather shutdowns. Those shutdowns are for your safety. I had some drivers reach out to me and say, you know what, I could have kept going, it was safe. I trust our driver base, but I don't always trust everybody else out there on the road. So when we do those mandatory shutdowns, just for your information, that's for your safety, that's for everybody out on the road safety, and we don't want to get caught in any bad situations out there. We also had a lot of reports of ice on our trailers. Just so you know that we have pre-approved trailer washouts for anybody that's got ice on their trailers. The last thing we want is a big chunk of ice falling off on the interstate and hitting somebody else on the road. So make sure you contact dispatch if you need any trailer washouts to get that ice off the trailers. And great job out there. We had 0 weather-related accidents, so hats off to our driver base. Thank you for being extra cautious out there when we had inclement weather out there. We also didn't have any injuries out there securing our freight, strapping down our freight, anything like that, slips and falls in parking lots. So thank you for being safe out there. It was a slowdown to a great month of January, but we got through it and we're off to a hot start in February. Our freight opportunities is higher than we've seen in a long time. In January, we had over 500 turndowns where customers came to us with a load and we said no to it for a variety of reasons. That's the highest number we've seen in 3 years. In December, we had less than 200 turndowns. October and November were around 100. So you can see how the market is changing just from late fall into early winter here. We also had our lowest broker count in over 3 years as well in the last week of January. So what that means is less TARP freight, less detention, less issues because we know our contracted customers out there, and more miles for you guys. So off to a hot start here in February, and we'll keep you communicated on what we see freight-wise throughout the rest of the month. Accidents out there. We had an uptick in preventable accidents in the month of January. We had 9 preventable accidents, and 8 of those were parking lot backing and striking fixed object accidents. So we have to do better in that category. I think every single video I've done for the last 6, 7, 8 months has talked about goal, get out and look, and we continue to have parking lot incidents. So we run 53-foot trailers, step decks, and flatbeds, so watch those tail swings. We don't run 48-foot trailers, so make sure you're far enough out when you're pulling out of a parking spot that your tail of your trailer is not hitting anybody. We're going to introduce some backing retraining for drivers that are having problems out there. So we continue to have these issues. Like I said, 8 of the 9 preventable accidents in January were backing or striking fixed objects. So we have to do better. We need your focus on that. We need your attention and attention to detail in parking lots, just like when you're out there on the road. Another safety item that we need some focus on is on duty time. So your pre-trips, your fuel, your loading and securement, those on duty times that you put into your logs have to be accurate. So make sure when you're out there, you're keeping track of the time, and those are accurate times. Those have to be accurate. Josh and his team are really cracking down on duty time, so make sure you're paying attention and those times are accurate. I just want to say thanks again for all the safe weather driving and cautious prevention out there for accidents. Thanks again, and be safe.